I'm out here installing these hanging lights on these black aluminium arbors, so I thought I'd show you just the process we go through to install the lights, of running the wires through the arbors. It's a bit tricky. I've done 2 out of the 4 that we have to do. The first one probably took 5 minutes to run it through. That second one took 25, 30 minutes. It's a bit longer, so it's just a bit trickier to get it to fall down that upright of the arbor. So I've got another 2 to go down the back, so I'll show you how we install them. I've got the lights here. These are from Light on Landscape. It's just a 4-watt globe. That one's obviously not in there yet, but they come with a 6 meters of cable, so you don't have to do a join inside the actual arbor. So we get it to run up through the arm of the arbor, run down the face, the post, and then it comes up at the bottom, and then we do the join there so you can still access that and make it waterproof. These lights have got a little wire here that you can use to tie the light to whatever you're hanging it from, but we're not going to use that in this situation because I don't want to see the wire that it's hanging from, so we're going to have it as tight as possible and just hang it from this ring that's on the light there. So the way we're going to do that is with these eyelet hooks. So we just screw that up, thread it through there, and then it'll be hanging from that, and we'll give that a coat of paint so it's black and blends in with the light and the arbor. So the first thing we're doing is marking the center of the hole that we're going to be running the cable through and the light's going to be hanging from. So the first one we did was 800 mil off the end, the last one was 200, and this one's 500, which is in the center of those 2. And then the next one, I'm not sure what the measurement is, but that'll be offset from these 3 as well. So we'll measure it there, and then measure halfway between the post, which is 50 mil thick post, so 25 mil. Drill a hole in the center, and then we'll run the wire through that. Now that our hole's done in the arm of the arbor, which you probably can't see because of the brightness, we'll come down and put one in the post of it down the bottom here. So we're just going to dig a bit of that away, dig a bit of that soil away so we can get down as low as possible, so that when the cable comes out you don't see it once the mulch goes in. This hole's going to have to be bigger than the hole we did up the top because we have to hook around the cable once it comes down. So the cable's going to come out bent, otherwise you won't be able to pull it out of the hole. It's a bit too hard to thread it through a small hole, so that's why we use this hole saw. So I've made this hole down the bottom here a bit bigger so that we've got room to put a hook in there and pull the cable out, because it'll have to come out bent because it's too hard to thread it all the way from the top down to the bottom the same way we're going to thread it in through there. So it's a 20 mil hole there. We'll hook that out, and once it all gets connected up to the lighting cable and transformer, then we'll silicone that hole up so no water can get in there. So now it's the tricky part. So now that we've drilled the hole in the top, we've got this 3 mil steel wire that we're going to use to run across the arm and then hopefully fall down easily enough down the upright of the arbor. So this was the thing that took a while last time. So sometimes it goes pretty quickly, other times not so quick. So we'll see how this one goes. So you can see we've run that cable through the wire there. I've just hooked it over the top so it doesn't fall out any further. So I got pretty lucky. It only took me about 20 seconds first time this try. So it runs along the arm of the arbor there, drops down to the hole that we drilled down the bottom, and it's in a pretty good spot. Usually you can't see it that quickly. It almost came out on its own, but I've got this hook which you can just make out of a coat hanger. So you just hook that in there, pull that wire out, and then I'll be pulling it through here and feeding it through the top at the same time, so that once it gets towards the end at the top, then we'll tie our lighting cable to it. So once you've got about, maybe a bit less than a metre sticking out of the arbor, once you've threaded that through, then you want to tape the lighting cable to the wire, so then you can pull the lighting cable through. Now the hole that we drilled up there is about 6 or 6.5 mil. This cable is 3 mil, and this lighting cable, when it's doubled like it comes, is 5 mil. So 5 and 3 doesn't go into a 6 mil hole or 6.5. So what I've done is split the ends. So I'll just tape one of them to the wire like that, and then once that gets through, then you can thread this one through, which will only be 2.5 mil next to its partner. So then it'll be 5 mil going into a 6 mil hole, if that makes sense. So because taping them both together, it won't get through the hole, and we're wanting to make that hole that we drill through as small as possible so it doesn't stand out. So that's it taped together there. The steel wire is taped to the lighting cable, and you can see this is the other half of the lighting cable that we'll put through second. So then it's just a matter of threading that through, and it gets a bit tricky at this point where the tape is. So just give it a bit of a twist as it's going through. So now that that bit is through, now that there's just this 2.5 mil, which is half of the 5 mil cable sticking in there, then we can poke this one through. And then we'll be feeding that through while pulling on that stainless steel wire. And what you need to push more than you pull, because otherwise you could pull the cable out of the tape, and then you've got to start all over again. So thread through a fair bit of this cable, and then pull it through, and then thread through some more, pull it through until you see the cable come out the bottom. Now what we're going to do is thread this saddle or hook through the ring in the light like that, and then fix it up to the arbor. So we'll just thread some more of that cable through. You don't necessarily have to pull this bit out through the bottom, because it doesn't matter if there's a bit of excess in here, just in case something ever goes wrong with the light. So what we're going to do now is just put a bit of paint on those stainless steel fittings there so they blend in more with the black. So there we have it all connected up. Globe going on one side fine, then you can see now it's painted black. You don't notice the hole or the fixings there. And then you can see those two behind me as well, already done. So 3 down, 1 to go.